Hare Krishna. Welcome to yet another session of question and answers. I am Abhilash and we are with His Grace now Nishtha. Our subject matter for discussion today will be Kala or time. Hare Krishna Prabhu. My first question is, the concept of time is one of the hottest topics in science and we have so many theories defining it. Now how do you define Kala or time?
I remember somebody came to our college and asked, can you define time? And we were so-called engineers, all were confused. It's funny, people don't know basics. So anyway, the Vedas, I represent the Vedic knowledge. In the Vedas, Kala is defined as a force which destroys everything. Kalo Asmi. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says Kalo Asmi. Interesting thing is that when the first time nuclear explosion was done, the scientists present there quoted Bhagavad Gita and they said, Krishna says in Gita, Kalo Asmi. And it's a huge explosion. So actually it's true. We see that I want to remain young, I can't remain, I am forced to become old and I will be forced to die one day. Everything that I have in this world is forced to its destruction. In fact, it goes through what is known as Shadavikara. It comes into being, then it grows, it produces byproducts, then it becomes old, then it dies. Shadavikara. A child is born, he grows, he becomes a young man, and then he produces some children, and he remains young for some time, but then slowly he starts dwindling, and one day he dies. So everything in this world is forced to get destroyed over a period of time. That thing which forces that to happen is Kala. Kala is not the time on your watch. It's the force which sees everything is destroyed.
Prabhuji, we hear that we live in this age of Kali Yuga. How is this age different from other yugas?
Kali Yuga is short compared to all the yugas. The duration of Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. Dwapar Yuga is double of that, 8,64,000 years. Treta Yuga is triple. Satya Yuga is 4 times. So x plus 2x plus 3x plus 4x is how much? 10x. So 4 million is the 4.3 million is the size of one set of yugas. So Kali Yuga is the smallest. Another thing said about Kali Yuga is that Prayana Alpayusha Sabya Kalau Asman Yogejana Manda Sumanda Matayu Manda Bhagya Parditaha. Kali Yuga, the people are short-lived. Manda, they are very dull-headed. Sumanda Matayu, they have no intelligence. Manda Bhagya Upadirtaha, they are very unfortunate and they are always disturbed.
Prabhuji, the next question is, why has God destined everything in this material universe to be temporary?
Why did He design temporary? Therefore comes Sanatana. God's kingdom is Sanatana, eternal. But this world we know of is not Sanatana, it is temporary. Question is why? Why did He design this world also to be permanent? The soul is Sachidananda, it is eternal, it is full of bliss, it is full of happiness. But this world is temporary, asat. It is not permanent. If I say this is chair, it is not going to be chair all the time, it will be destroyed one day. Why did God do that? It is His wish, we are nobody to question. But if God is not unreasonable, we can try to understand His decisions as far as we can understand. If I look at myself, I see that every day I get new desires. And to fulfill those desires, certain body will facilitate that. Therefore, this body has to be changed. Just like you are a small child, you cannot wear the same clothes you are wearing when you are 1 year old. I can't. I was only this much size. I can't wear those clothes because my body has grown, so clothes have to change. So similarly, my mind changes. A new set of dresses needed, a body to accommodate, to facilitate those desires. Therefore, death is needed. Another reason is that the temporary nature is, it gives a sense of urgency. We study. If there is a college in place where there is no exam, there may be some responsible people who will study, but generally 99% will not even look at the book. They will not buy the books, forget about studying the books, if there is no exam. It is needed because we are irresponsible. In the spiritual world, interestingly, this can be extended. There is no exam. There is no need of anything temporary there because people are responsible. Their everyday study. are always full of bliss, full of loving propensity to serve Krishna. They have no criminal desire, for which we all have come to the material world.
Prabhuji, then how does one come out of this influence of Kala?
You come out of the influence of Kala by choosing to behave now responsibly. Even in the material world, Iha haise harirdase karmana manasagira nikalesha avasthashu jivan mukta samachyate. You can experience eternity even in this world if you become responsible. There is no need of exam then. If you are every day studying and teacher comes to know, there is no exam. There is no need of exam. He is very healthy. So if you are very responsibly acting, Vishwam Purna Sukhaya, that this world itself becomes Vaikuntha for you. This world becomes a blissful place when you behave responsibly. This world is also kingdom of God for His enjoyment. It's not place for your enjoyment. When you look at this world in this way, when you see a beautiful rose flower, I can offer to Krishna. The rose flower no longer in his material, it becomes spiritual. Everything you look at Krishna's, it is his, it is for his pleasure. There is no more anything material in this world.
Prabhuji, you talked about the supreme abode or the Vaikuntha. Is there no conception of time there?
There is no time. No time in Vaikuntha. In material world, time is needed. As explained, things deteriorate here. But there, people are, nothing deteriorates. If you are a young friend of Krishna, you remain like that for eternity. Just imagine how beautiful it is. There is no impediment in the spiritual world. Without any impediment, you can enjoy with the Lord. So there is no question of any time. In fact, there darkness is artificially created. There is no darkness there. Everybody is self-absorption. You don't need sun. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Natad bhashate suryo, there is no need of sun there. Na shashanka, no need of moon. Na pavaka, even this wind, nothing is needed. The soul doesn't need oxygen to breathe. You don't need this atmosphere also. You don't need sun because you are self-absorbed. By your own light you can see anything you want. Everything is self-absorption. Even the planets are self-absorption. Whatever light we see in this world actually is borrowed from the spiritual world.
When was the Bhagavad Gita spoken?
The book says it was spoken before the Mahabharata war. The Mahabharata war, according to Mahabharata, occurred 5,000 years ago. The planetary system mentioned there, if you calculate, even scientifically, so-called today's material science, it is 5,000 years ago Gita was spoken. And then Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ivam vivaspate yogam proktavan aham abhyam vivasvan manave praha manu ikshvakave abravi. He said, I taught this knowledge to son God, Vivasvan. When did he teach it? Before the birth of Manu. Okay. So what is the life of Manu? Our Manu, Vaivasvata Manu. 120 million years. His total life is 300 million years. He has passed 120 million years. More or less. So Gita was spoken by the Lord to Sun God 120 billion years ago. And then it was passed down. Sun God taught to his son Manu. Manu taught to Ikshvaku. And it is said Ikshvaku received this knowledge at the beginning of Treta Yuga. That becomes Treta Yuga is Kali Yuga is 4 lakh, Dwapar Yuga is 8, Treta Yuga is 12. 12 plus 8, 20. So roughly 20 lakhs, 2 million years ago Gita came on earth.
Then Prabhuji, what is the age of the universe?
Universe now is... So Manu, we said there are 14 Manus in the day of Brahma. Day of Brahma means another way, 1,000 cycles of the yugas. Each Manu gets roughly 71 cycles. 71 into 14 is 1,000. So now in a day of Brahma there is 1,000 cycles of 4.3 billion years. Night is another 4.3 billion, 8.6 billion. That is one day. Such 360 days, 1 year for Brahma and 100 years. 311 trillion years is the life of Brahma. Brahma has passed half his life. So 155.5 trillion trillion years is the age of the universe. But then also you have to understand the whole Vedic system, that there are many pralayas. It's not the once creation happened. They have something similar created in science. They talk about infinitely reborning, but it's all hallucination, imagination. Here at least we have books. Prabhupada, somebody said, what you are speaking in mythology. Prabhupada said, then what you are speaking is imaginology. At least we have some books. And there are some people who are talking about it, standard authorities. Here we have just people sitting and imagining, and another person says, no, I have another imagination. It's not like that. So the universe is created, and there are many pralayas in it. So 155.5 is the life of Brahma. Universe has to be older because Brahma is the first living entity in this universe. And then there are many pralayas. Every day when Brahma dies, there is a pralaya. There is a pralaya even every manvantara. And there is a final pralaya, Mahapralaya, when Brahma dies. So there are many times destruction and creation happens regularly in the universe. In this way you can understand.
Next question, please.
Prabhu, my next question is, how do you say that God's eternal abode exists?
Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means there is no kunta there is no anxiety. That is the kingdom of God. Na tadabhashate shuryo na shashanka na pavakaha yadigatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam. Krishna says, you will not come back if you come to my abode. So such a beautiful place it is. Once you see it, you will not come. So this place exists, the spiritual world exists. How do you say it exists? Can you show me? You see, a very nature I tell you. I can't show it to you, but I can tell you it is there by one thing. Number one, you are looking for a place without anxiety. In this world, anxiety is everywhere. That we know, a place has to exist because you are looking for that. Number one. Number two, we are looking for Sachidananda. But in this world, Asat, Achit and Nirananda. That is somewhere Sachidananda existence is there. Somewhere everything is eternal. We get surprised when death is there in this world because we like eternity. We are very curious, we are ignorant about almost everything in this world. But we like to be known. A child sees a locked room, he wants to see what's happening there. Chit. Ananda. We want to be full of happiness. We're only finding misery in this world. That because we're looking for that. I'll give another example. Suppose you see an apple, a photograph of an apple, and you start salivating. That means you've eaten apples. Why you salivating? So we are looking for happiness in a place there is no happiness, but that is somewhere the happiness must be there. Otherwise, why you are looking for it?
Prabhuji, we have received some questions from our viewers. Shall we take it? First question is, if the material world is temporary, what is the ultimate fate of this universe?
See, the energy is conserved. That is not very difficult to understand. Even modern science, material science says that. Yes, energy is conserved. And finally, when there is no need of the material creation, the whole creation is dissolved. And it becomes pradhana. So somebody may question then, why did God create this world? Because he wanted to be rebellious. Nobody asked you to leave. It's like a child says, Papa, I want to touch the fire. Arey beta, don't touch, you'll burn hand. I want to touch. Okay, touch. At your own risk. What can be done? So similarly, God is always ever inviting us to associate with Him. What do you want to enjoy? Like God. We don't want to enjoy with God. We don't want to enjoy with Krishna. We want to enjoy like Krishna. We want to imitate Him. So to facilitate that imitation, this better word is created. It's an illusory word in the sense that everything is temporary here. In the spiritual world, everything is permanent. So we are in the material world here out of our own choice. We cannot blame God. But still, God loves us. He cannot leave us for a second. So He continuously keeps making arrangement for us to come back to His lotus feet. That is His causeless mercy.
Prabhuji, the next question is, why did God create me?
Why did He create you? Okay, we answered why did He create this world. He created you because Ananda Vayo Vyasa. Now suppose I am alone in a room. I cannot be happy. But if there are some people, I can have some fun. So we can have fun when there are more people. So ego bhushyam, that one became many. And but it's not like cut. Some people think the supreme absolute got cut. No. In Bhagavad Gita it says Nayanam Chidyanti Shastrani. You cannot cut the Lord. It's eternal. The example better is from a fire sparks come out. We are part and parcel of the Lord. In that sense there is no creation. We are expanded from the Lord. We are called Vivinamsha. A small part and parcel of the Lord. In that way we are also eternal as God is eternal. There is no date of creation. So we are created because to expand the pleasure of the Lord. Constitutionally, our pleasure comes by serving the Lord, in cooperating with the Lord, in enjoying with the Lord. That is our pleasure. But God has to give us independence because then there is no fun. Suppose I say, bring me a glass of water, and where is the fun in it? But I come to your place, sir, would like to have a glass of water. Very nice. Then that is love. Pleasure is in loving relationship. And to facilitate loving relationship, God gives us independence. Now we can choose to serve Him with love, or we can choose to be independent of Him. That is our choice.
Thank you for the questions, and Prabhuji, thank you for your time, and thank you for answering all our questions.